I find that at times like this, the best thing to say is don't think about it too hard and just let it be. With that out of the way, welcome back, everybody. We're in From the Depths again, and as promised, I've done a little bit of building in between episodes. I have built us a cargo plane. It's called the Chunko. You'll see why. And here is said Chunko. As you can see, it's called Chunko because it's chunky. Yep, yep. We've got a big old plane. It's somewhat inspired by the oh god, what's it called? The Blackburn Beverly. There we go. I've remembered the name of the thing. We have got a little radar in here. This isn't the world's most spectacular radar, but if you go up to 500 meters, it'll spot enough. And then back here, we've got a whole mess of internals. It's built with RTGs. It costs a little bit to spawn in initially, but it only has a tiny little fuel engine in here. Just a teeny weeny little one somewhere down here. This is so weak that it can't really even power all of the engines, but it's just there to ensure that while we're moving and using up our battery, which is how we're getting our power, we have enough to, keep going. And that means that this thing is fairly cheap once you've spawned it in to actually fly around. Therefore, it won't be sapping all of the resources that it's meant to be ferrying around, which it has a fairly good capacity of doing. If I zoom in to the map here, you can see we have the capacity for 140,000 material, which is enough for now. Ultimately, not the world's largest amount of fuel, but we could just kind of slap a couple of these into a fleet. I'm not very good at building planes. Just to clarify what you're about to see, I'm about to free this from its harnesses. There you go. It's flying. We've had to use a couple of jets for control because I don't know, the wings didn't seem to like it. It does normally stay out of the water. If it does fall into the water, it has got balloons to get itself out of the water. And if we tell it to go all the way over that way, you can see it's going to fly up to about 300 meters in altitude and fly relatively stably. I've done a little bit of PID tweaking to try and not have it jiggle too much, but obviously the jiggle is somewhat useful when you actually get into combat with these things, which should never happen. As you can see down there, sorry, this is awful. As you can see down here, we have just this little tiny turret with very, very basic detection systems and two 60mm autocannons. This is basically there just to see if we can chip some blocks off the enemy before we go down. It's never going to save this thing in an actual fight, so just don't get into combat in the Chunko and we should be fine. I'd show you the detection radius, but it doesn't work in this. We also have, if we just retrofit this real quick, the stupid missile version, which if I load it in and fly over to it, it isn't fully repaired, so I'll just use the repair tool real quick. What you can see is that I've strapped onto the side some stupid missiles. There you go. This was genuinely just done as a bit of a good joke between me and my friend who are playing a multiplayer campaign. I just built this as a convoy raider. We could just kill some really, really weak enemies with this thing. It's not good. We probably won't use it, but maybe we will. Who knows? It's really stupid. Really, really stupid. But it's good fun. And now, I think it's time that we show you this thing building itself, because that's always fun, isn't it? Okay, build block by block. There we go. It doesn't work quite as well with a plane that has sub-objects as its wings, does it? That is the most unusual thing I've seen in quite a long time. Okay, well, I'll just let that do its thing, and before we go into the next part of the campaign, I've done some upgrades to our destroyer. So, I was given, after last video, a couple of tips and tricks on how to make my advanced cannons a little bit more effective, or should I say, quite a lot more effective, per cost. So, these are not significantly better than the previous cannons, but slightly. So, we've got 240 there, 230 there, back here, we got 237, and 172, because this rear turret is very, very short. That is better than it was before, fairly significantly, but the main improvement was that these were significantly cheaper than the previous cannons. You can also see there's now some metal armor over these turrets and at the back here as well as some applique just to kind of add a little bit of thickness to the destroyer. I think it makes it look ever so slightly worse, and one thing that definitely does is it really, really ruins this waterline that we had going. This thing is much heavier. It now sits about here in the water, that's not good. That's bad. But it's functional. The turrets are still above the water, and it doesn't sink once you start damaging it, because honestly, the only things you're really going to take off are the expensive heavy bits. The AI is encased in heavy armor now. EMP vulnerability, big time. I know I've added a little bit of surge protection around it, which might help every now and then, but generally, this is not good against EMP at all. Just a misplay on my part. When I build a future ship, I'll do better. But yeah, for now, that's a pretty big vulnerability. We have also got, I think we had these last time, vertical launch missiles, but these are incendiary vertical launch missiles now, and they're pretty significant, to be entirely honest. So yeah, that's about it. Because we did save some resources on these turrets, we put that back into the ship in the Sorry, I completely lost the ability to speak there. In the form of anti-munitions defense, little 20mm and 40mm all over the ship. These get shredded fairly quickly once we start taking damage, but the idea is anything with big old crams, we might just have a better chance of shooting them down, and it does do that fairly often. So that's that, and there is also, which I might end up using, a very, very expensive and currently somewhat experimental, because I don't really... I've spawned it in block by block, bear with. It is very pretty while I spawn it in block by block, but you might be getting some spoilers on the inside about what this thing is built for, but it's slightly hideous because the laser's just kind of going across the whole thing. Need to really reorganize the internals so that it comes up from below, because this is also vulnerable. But I'm working on this version, which is a laser anti-missile version. As you can see, there's LAMS nodes all over the thing, slightly bigger superstructure to house it all. There at the back, there in the middle, there on the mast, there on the front, and generally just put some torpedoes on top because they're easy to fit in, and only 2 of the turrets, although these are the exact same as they are on that one, so about 50% the firepower, if not slightly more, because that turret isn't very useful on this thing. Right, that's it. That's all of the building and blabbering. We're going to go into the campaign. We've just shown Sal what for, and we're going to have to conquer some more land and push deeper into the Deepwater Guard territory. Okay, I've immediately spawned in one of our chunkos, which is just running around over here, capturing some zones, and this swordfish is trying to intercept them, so we're going to stop that before it gets a chance to. We've done one of these before, this won't be too hard. Yep, there she blows. Just got to shoot down this Falkenheim, which shouldn't be too bad, and this will probably be the last fight that we do with the unretrofitted versions. These are still the last episode's version of this ship. I'm just about ready to change them over, just needed a couple of resources brought over by the Chunko. I cannot wait for those missiles to be incendiary. Oh boy. Doesn't seem fair, does it? First fight with the brand new incendiary missiles, and they're hitting that swordfish there. Look at that flame damage tick up. These may not be the best missiles once we move on to anybody else, but at least for now, with the Deepwater Guard being made entirely out of wood, basically, that is too satisfying to resist. Ah, beautiful. And somewhere in there, the Atlas has gone down as well. Not hit by any of the flame missiles, which is a shame, but definitely hit by plenty of heat shells. In comes some pretty hefty cram shells here, and you can see that our close-in weapon systems got that one shot down. No problem, so that cannon tower genuinely isn't a threat anymore. More territory for me. Okay, it's only about 10 seconds until the next council meeting. If I can, I'm going to carry on this war with the Deepwater Guard, but you can see here, there is a significant cluster of enemies forming to go up against us. Nothing too dangerous. The most dangerous is probably the steamworks, and that's not even too bad, to be entirely honest. And here we have not many great options apart from just carrying on the war with the Deepwater Guard, so that's gonna be the one we go for, so here we go. We're gonna have to fight this entire group, and it's probably gonna happen all at once fairly shortly. Here is their forward force, also known as a single Falkenheim, which we've dealt with before, so I'll just let you watch it burn. Oh, it's falling out the sky already, and it's burning gloriously. It's always good. It's always good. This fella had the nerve to come after me before the main squadron had the chance to, so, yep, he alone shall die alone. Unfortunate, really, because it is a beautiful craft. Is he going to get a full salvo? No, he's dead. That's a shame. Okay, here it is, the big fight. This probably is going to prove a little bit easier than the Sal's fleet was. And one of the enemies hasn't spawned in. Let's try and fix that. There we go. I don't want to fight just a couple of these guys. I think we can take them all out. Now, are any of these Wonders, or are they all Steamworks? I think they're all Steamworks. The Wonder has a horrific railgun shot, which can cause serious problems if they get lucky with it. I'm kind of okay with the Steamworks, though. They're not too bad. That thing's run aground. It's just a Vanguard, though. No one's gonna notice that a Vanguard's run aground. I can't lie. The Vanguard doesn't scare me very much. These things are probably the strongest they have, but not exactly strong. Once they stop bouncing, they'll probably go down. I imagine we're just waiting for these incendiary missiles to arrive, but I think, are they going for a target behind the mountain? Yeah, they're going for the Jacob's Treehouse. They have reached the Jacob's Treehouse, which also seems to be Jacob's Beached, but yeah, whatever. This game is another one of those games which really makes my computer wish that it had a slightly better graphics card than it does. Oh, the poor monkey barrel. You were never long for this world, were you, friend? You are probably going to be next, let's face it. And there's quite a few blocks falling off him. I think that may well spell the death knell of this Steamworks. Yep, there we go. And there's just one more. Oh, that's a big chunky set of cram shells from the scuttle gun there. I don't imagine that's gonna do too much. No, yeah, not too bad. Especially after their first salvo, those cram shells tend not to pack quite as fully as they used to, which does mean that while it is a little bit of a stronger target, and I am gonna take it out, it's not that much of a threat. We've also got these EMP torpedoes, which have a chance of getting through there and taking out the AI, but admittedly not a giant chance. Yeah, he's gone. I should probably change the torpedoes to HE, because HE does do more damage underwater, but EMP's fun. This is just the Vanguard. Oh, poor guy. You managed to get yourself off the rocks. Unfortunately for yourself, I think. Well, yeah, maybe unfortunately. He wouldn't have had to suffer for quite as long. And this is the treehouse with just fire damage, which is unfortunate. Yeah, that's also not long for the world, is it? Low health. We need something a little bit bigger from the Deepwater Guard, don't we? They need to send us something a little bit stronger. Please not the crossbones, though. I don't want to fight one of those. Anything but the crossbones. We're just going to wipe out the fishing hole real quick. There's also just a cargo aircraft here, which is trying to do something to stop us, but I don't think it's going to be hugely effective, because we've seen what happens to groupers when they go up against our destroyers. That is what we're slightly more concerned about, but given how much it's burning, I don't think we're going to have to be too worried about it for too long. Have you taken any damage? Doesn't look like anything significant. There's a HE gun trying to shoot through, but our armor is pretty good against pure HE, and oh dear. AI dead already. I think one of the EMP shots might have taken it out. And the grouper's already dead. Nice. Learn, Deepwater Guard. Learn. These things don't work. Okay, we're here at the current production location of the Deepwater Guard fleets. There shouldn't be too much of a fight put up here because that doesn't have any guns. That does and that does, but we've dealt with this kind of stuff before. I don't think we're going to struggle too much here, and we should, I believe, get a big fleet spawning after we kill this, which is somewhat intimidating, but we shouldn't struggle too badly. As much as this isn't going to be a fight that you're probably very interested in, because obviously we've done all of this before, this is incredibly cool, and I really enjoy the foreshadowing of the moray to come when it's just here in its unbuilt form. I don't believe any of these guns work on this one. It would be nice if they kind of did, but obviously this one isn't going to work. There's just nothing in here, and now it's on fire. I get myself in the long haul for all of the ammo barrels on that thing exploding. It's going to be slow motion for a long time, I think. Look at this adorable little car as it burns up. It's really cool. I really, really like it. Unfortunately, my flame missiles don't. There we go. That is this fortress destroyed, and we get ourselves this very nice little resource zone if we pull from play real quick. And I believe there's meant to be something popping up telling me that, oh, I'm going to kill you, or something along those lines, but it's not happened yet. Now, we don't know where the next fortress is exactly, but that grouper is heading towards it, and he's heading up here. So I'm going to assume this is about where the enemy fortress is. Thanks for the intel, grouper. Ooh, an Atlas. Atlas. Yeah. I mean, we killed one of these before, but this is one of my favorite ones to watch burn because it's just so wooden. Here we go. Here come the fire missiles. There goes the Atlas. I mean, the heat shells are probably doing more damage. I mean, you can see at the top right that is definitely the case. But I don't care. The fire makes me feel good. Okay, I was totally wrong. Up here is the fishing village. That was where we saw the the groupers, sorry, flying to. Which, no, they were going to the Sinner's Outpost, which must be further up here. But either way, this is the new base of the Deepwater Guard, Davy Jones Outpost over here in Janwall, which is, yep, fair enough. I guess I could have really expected it to be pretty close. Yeah, whatever. Either way, we're building another vehicle over here. I just need to kind of get some more materials on board, and I think the closest place that we're going to get those is over here, but it's currently not in a state where it can be built, so I might have to pull back one of the Chunkos to build that guy. It's a whole situation going on here. Both the Chunkos are capturing stuff. What a disaster. Okay, this could be a fun little battle. We've got a Pangon Drum, which is one of my favorite Deepwater Guard craft. Love seeing those things. Falkenheim, and a grouper. Shouldn't be a problem, but I do love the Pangon Drum. It is such a cool looking thing. If we just pop into this view, ooh, hopefully we shoot those down. Those could cause a little bit of damage. Nope, they bounced off the water anyway and didn't hit us in the end. Luckily, I don't think its AI had quite got its aim down by the time that it got there, but look how cool the Pangon Drum is. Like, how do you even come up with something like this? It's like a massive claw holding a gigantic paddle wheel, presumably for melee, but it's not quick enough to do melee. It only goes 11 meters a second, so, I mean, the white flare's got it down. This isn't quite how you do it, Deepwater Guard, I can't lie. Here comes some EMP torpedoes. That could do a little bit of work against that enemy. Are they not EMP? I thought they were. Oh yeah, they are. So I'm just going crazy. And that is pretty much the Pangon Drum gone. I'm surprised that the Falkenheim is still alive, to be entirely honest. I think the HE missiles... keep saying HE, the incendiary missiles haven't really been going for it in preference of the Pangon Drum, which means it's just got the heat to worry about, and because it's basically a big hollow shell, the heat doesn't do that much damage, I say, as the AI dies. These little guys are also really annoying. They're not good, they're just annoying. There goes the Pangon Drum, which is a shame. I love those things, but it has to happen. Grouper, you're not long for this world, you're just a cargo craft. Annihilation! That's what we like to see. Okay, this could be a significant bit of combat, and it's the first time I don't think I'm going to spawn everything in at once, just because my computer will start to really, really struggle with this one. We'll have to see what it's picked to spawn in. I believe that is just... Oh, that's weird. I feel like we should have more of these enemies in than that. Alright, we're turning the slider up. Damned the consequences. There's Davy Jones' outpost. That's what I wanted to have in this fight, realistically. And it looks... Oh, God, so I thought that destroy this text was already AI dead. I was going to blow my mind then. I was like, I know we've got a fair amount of firepower, but not that much. And I am kind of shocked that it spawned in... But, oh, no, it only spawned in one of my destroyers. Okay, I thought it spawned in both. And that would have been a little unfair on the Deepwater Guard. But look at Davy Jones' outpost. This is an amazing little build. There's bits of ship all over the place. You can see bits of the actual Deepwater Guard craft, like Marauders. I think this is meant to be like an Onyx Watch ship that they've stolen parts of to make a fortress here. I just want to watch as these cram shells come down, because these are pretty hefty cram shells. They probably won't hit, to be entirely honest. And I think we're shooting down, what are they, missiles or tiny cram shells? Not sure. But those, if they do hit, in the 1 in a million chance of that, they could do a fair amount of damage. I think that's an internal explosion on the Davy Jones outpost over there. It's a long, long way away, which does make it kind of hard to tell. Come on, shoot down those cram shells. Maybe another internal explosion. That's one gone. I don't think we're going to shoot the other one down, but it is going to miss. Okay. Whew. Not too bad then, not too bad. And we are definitely too far away for our incendiary missiles to hit, so we shouldn't really expect any fire damage here. That wall of cram shells seems to still be operating, which is somewhat surprising. Can I combine the telescope with this zoom? No. Okay, fair enough. Learning new things every day about this new camera update. I'm a little bit worried about if that coyote spawns in right now. We're going to be clipped inside of it, which is definitely not going to be good for either of us, really. I've been attached to the ship. This is a nightmare. We're so far away, we can't watch the chaos unfold. It still looks very put together, but as you can see, there's a lot of internals falling off. Obviously, these are heat shells, so if the outside looks good, it doesn't necessarily mean the inside is, and these parts that are falling off, to be fair, they look mostly structural, so they might still be able to fire, unless... No, they look pretty good, those cannons, to be entirely honest, so those should still fire. They're just quite... Me and my big mouth. There they go. The rest of it... doing about the same, to be honest. Oh. I really should stop talking. As soon as I say anything is functional, it just blows up on this outpost. That's just spawned in, though. That's a Steamworks over there. Not a problem. If it was a Wonder, I'd be a little bit more worried. But, well, it isn't, is it? So, who cares? Farewell, Steamworks. We know what happens here. There we go. That might spawn in something else, like, for instance, the coyote. But that, honestly, the coyote doesn't look like too much of a threat. Those are thumper missiles, I would imagine, though, which could, to be fair, do a little bit of work, but my close-in weapons seems to be dealing with it pretty effectively. My heat shells are missing just really badly for whatever reason. Don't know why, but they've decided they're missing so badly they're not even going to try anymore. That's a lot of fire on the Davy Jones outpost there. Oh dear, that's not gonna be good for their continued survival. And there goes the Davy Jones outpost. The last hurrah, maybe, of the Deepwater Guard? I don't really know. Shortly, at least, after this battle, maybe, the Deepwater Guard will no longer exist. But for now, I don't know, they might have another fortress somewhere that they move their headquarters to. That is a really, really nice little design, the patchwork, and I believe that's probably on the harder side of what we've been fighting, if I remember from many, many years ago, the difficulties of these craft, but it is very small at the end of the day, so it probably won't do too well. This ship is getting attacked quite a lot by the Coyote's missiles, although I do agree with my AI that is probably the bigger priority to kill, because those cramshells can be nasty when they hit. It's already dead. I would quite like you dead. I don't give him very long after I just prioritize all my AIs to shoot at him. Yep, there we go. That didn't last long at all. Was that an enemy ship, or was that the remnants of the fortress? That must have been the remnants of the fortress. And now all that's left is fish in a barrel, which is just a building, I think. I don't think this has any weapons at all. It is, yeah, just seemingly a building. You're best not to smoke here. There's some massive machinery inside here. Looks like this is where they're producing their ammunition barrels. This was incredibly cool. Low health, though. Farewell, fish in a barrel. Maybe farewell, Deepwater Guard? I don't know. Do they have anything left afterwards? I don't know why I'm checking the map. We're still in battle. Come on. Oh, there they go. There they go. Deepwater Guard is gone. They are no more. If we press... yep, there we go. The craft have just all disappeared. There is going to be a rush from everybody around them to mop up all of the territory that they've just dropped. So what I'm probably going to do is spawn a bunch of chunkos and work to take over the rest of these resource zones before anybody else gets the chance to do so. But for now, that's all for today. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, and or subscribe, and I will see you in the future for more of this campaign. I'm really having a good time, but yep, that's all for today. Goodbye! And as always, a huge thank you to YouTube super supporters Yoki, Corvoid, Prince Casper 33, Fluency Steve, Proto Series 1000, Eldoge, YT 3744, Marlon Gweck, Cruiser 25, Cody Fox, Peter Holmes, Peter Seifert, Camjam 135, Stug 3, and Sarah. And a huge thank you to all the regular tier supporters as well.